Okay. Hello, Dr. Ghada. How are you this evening?
How are you, Dr. Laurence? Good to see you again.
So it's around 7:30 where you are,
Yeah.
and I can hear you with your family, but are you in a place where you can be present and focused for the next
Yes.
30 minutes or so? Yeah?
My
Yeah?
study, yes.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so we've had the clarity call and we've got the alliance and the contract in place, and so we've got an agreed contract. We need a bigger picture. We need a goal. We need a timeline. So you looked at my LinkedIn and we spoke yesterday. So you're aware of my professional background, yeah? And that I'm not a mentor,
Yeah.
not here at least. I'm not a mentor and a counselor or a therapist. And you understand that if we go through and we find there are areas that might need extra help, then I might talk to you about referring you to somebody who could help you in a bit more efficient way than I might with a particular problem. Yeah? And you're happy with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And that you know, as an ICF training coach, you know that we have a code of ethics to adhere to, and that will assure confidentiality of anything that we discuss this evening or in any session, and that the recordings that we're making will not be shown to anybody without your permission. Yeah? Now, I'm under a mentoring coach program, and I need 1 or 2 coaching sessions that I might have to show to my little group of 4 or 5 of the ICF coaches that work with Claire for them to give me constructive feedback. Is that okay with you? You agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Would you like me to come to you and say that this is going to happen tomorrow? Is it okay if I use this recording before I use it?
No, it's fine. You can use it right away. I understand.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. And the same goes for you. If you need a recording, then of course you can take mine if it'll help you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Good. Thank you.
So you agreed that we could record the session and we can watch it later with your permission. So every coaching session is quite unique and it's set around your own personal needs and your own desired outcomes. Now, we may have a longer picture, a bigger picture over a period of the contracted sessions that we're going to have, let's say 8 or 9 sessions. But every so often, there's a little diversion on that route, and we may need to clear something out of the way in a session before we can move back to the bigger session, or your themes may change. I mean, we're quite open here. It's all about you. So tonight, over the next 30 minutes, is there any particular goal you have in mind that you would like to take away with you, an outcome that you could take away with you?
Maybe my goal would be to connect the dots of my professional background, because now I'm introducing something new, which is coaching, to the kind of skills that and the kind of interests that I'm doing. I think it's like organic development to education. I do think so. It's part of education. It's like holding space for people to think is beautiful. And I want to do that.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you would like to relate the coaching you're learning to your professional field of education.
Yes. Yes, and to my social circles as well, maybe volunteering services. Because whatever, like I think if it's useful, it will be positioned somehow. So I come to you today the hope that we can figure it out together.
Okay, so if I was to ask you to unpack that and to give us one statement as to what your stated goal might be, do you think you could do that for me now?
Yeah, so my goal is to see how to integrate coaching into the numerous things I already know and do, because I want it to be fruitful and bring in value, whether to people's lives or to educational experiences, whatever that would work.
Okay. Okay, so you're talking about making your coaching relevant and beneficial in your social circles, your volunteering, and in your education and your professional work.
Yeah.
So how might you bring coaching in, for example, into your professional work, your daily work?
When I came to think of this, I would always go back to the certificates and the hours I spent studying this and that, and looking at the level of competence. Like coaching now is a nervous thing. It's the newest I'm doing, so I'm not even very good with it. Still learning. Yeah, I'm still learning, and that's fine. But I want to learn with an eye on the goal, so I know where to position my learning. So now that I've been years on academic, doing research and writing, mostly teaching and doing assessment, teacher training or volunteering, and especially spirit. Also with very, the skills of observation and documentation, description, talking. I think I'm good with language too. The way I can just like connect to people. One time when someone told me you're a healer, you just see. So, because as special needs parents, we have our own grievances. It's like we don't share that with the world. We have a very specific parenting experience. Okay. So it's good. It's like, I don't know what that thing would be, but it's definitely not teaching, mostly not mentoring. It can be coaching. It can be just like people are there searching all day, night, and they're going to doctors for special needs parents, for students, they are doing the research, for people who are doing the writing, but who will hold the thinking space for them and not give them the monkey mind, so they don't beat themselves out, they don't scare themselves out. So if I can do that through coaching, that would be empowering. The question is, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to put that as service. I don't know how to volunteer that even. I am hardly grasping the concept, so I don't know how with other people do that in my context of Egypt.
Okay. So you're talking about a cultural context for coaching per se within your educational realm and how it might fit. Am I hearing that correctly?
It's part of the truth, because doing research all these years, I know that if you go with a sentence of 4 or 5 keywords, it doesn't hold. You just like have to drop in.
Can you repeat that? There's an echo.
If you given a sentence,
if
you given a sentence as your goal with a few keywords of 5, it wouldn't work. You need to drop in some, you drop off some, and then maybe work with 3 keywords. Yeah. If I'm having all that as my clear priority in one statement, I know it doesn't work. Okay. So maybe I will take away the context. Maybe I will just like, I want to bring in value. I want to connect the dots. I want to make sure that I'm holding safe spaces for people to think in order to complete their knowledge experience. So if they want to do something, so you get it here? So it can work for research, it can work for people who are discovering medical plans. It's like.
So if I just reflect back a moment, you're looking for pathways on this journey to help your students to have wider thinking spaces, and so that you could be a little more succinct in the keywords that you were offering them.
Okay. Okay. So I was putting it a bit differently. He asked me to summarize my goal in one statement. So my goal is to make things relevant, to hold thinking spaces for people, whether those people are education, academics, writers, special needs parents.
Okay.
Everybody who is trying to seek information, they are drowning in a lot of knowledge around and sources and pressures and people telling them what to do. And their thinking process will only be complete when they hear their inner voices. And their inner voices sometimes risk to be the monkey mind. They would scare themselves out.
To be the what?
The monkey mind, you know, it's like, I mean, sometimes it's a term that is sometimes used in psychology. It means when people are scaring themselves out, they're sabotaging themselves. They're just like defeating their own purpose. So sometimes the self-thinking is not the safe space we're looking for. If I can produce through coaching that safe space, that would be empowering, I hope.
That would be empowering. I agree with you. So what for you would be the benefits of reaching this desired space, this understanding of coaching?
This is my immediate understanding of the impact I can create through coaching. The impact I can create through coaching. It's like, is the mic clear? Is the voice clear or something?
No, I'm having a bit of trouble because I think if you slow down, maybe the words will be a bit clearer. They're muffling at the moment. They're joining up.
So, what is in it for me? Is this the question?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yes. It's my immediate picture of the future. So it will make sense of what I'm doing. I'm trying to make a story to motivate me to pursue coaching, because I started the thing without knowing anything about the industry. I didn't know anything about how it works. Haven't met a personal coach myself, but I do sometimes group coaching through Mars and Venus coaches, or I follow Robin Sharma. So this is what I know about coaching, the self-help tools, I mean. But I know it helps to be around people who have this positive mentality.
Yeah.
So I thought I would join. And now, sometime into the course, submitting my first assignment around, like, I'm trying to make sense of it all, provided that I am the person who's going to practice. So what does this mean to me? The kind of qualifications I have, the kind of dreams I have, the kind of competences I have. I have no idea how the thing is going to be positioned in the market. I have no idea how the thing will work on the long run. I have not practiced, so I don't know if I'm going to create that safe space to people. Maybe I'll be threatening, I have no idea.
I hear that you've mentioned a safe space for others 3 or 4 times now.
Yes.
So could you explain this in the terms of values, personal values for you, personal beliefs for you?
I think the impact of knowledge is always to make people better. It's, you know, the enlightenment dream that started like by, if you're pursuing knowledge, most probably you are going to be a better person, a happier person, or more empowered, or independent, or so I think if you can just like complete the knowledge, pursuing knowledge process, if everybody is constantly taking their attention to somebody else telling them what to do, and then when they sit, have a moment of peace with themselves, they usually do not encourage themselves. They just like remember, emotionally recall the experiences around. So I think that coaching will complete this cycle, will raise the efficiency of the process of seeking knowledge, sometimes from difficult sources. When professors are not very cordial, for example, when doctors are not very professors are not very cordial, not very friendly when they're offering advice, or with doctors who are surgeons who are not very optimistic about carrying on operations. Or could you see? This is what I think can work or can help.
So what concerns you about the current situation that you're in with, or as an educator with your qualifications? What's your main concern? Can you describe it for me?
People are not as growing as they should be. They are not as happy pursuing their talents, researching and writing. They're not as passionate. They're not as enjoying seeking knowledge as they should be. They're under pressure of submitting.
Under the pressure of
submitting research on deadlines and of getting the actual specification or specialization and not the passion of the questions. And it's harder and harder for the younger ones. It's getting harder for them because they have a lot of teaching to do. They have a lot of mentoring committees, a lot of student support and activities, and nobody turns an eye to the research. Nobody asks about their well-being as researchers. So that's my concern on the professional level. On the social level, parents, there is no services for the parents. Everybody is talking about the special needs child. Nobody's talking about the special needs parent who is suffering the kind of guilt every parent has.
Oh, wow.
But it's even aggravated because it's the auto medical plan. It's up to him to choose when to do the surgery or not. It's up to him, you know? It's like, and then people just like, because it's something new, it's not everybody, it's not special needs, it's their kid. So they just like, when the time comes, they figure out what they've missed. The guilt here is big. There is every reason for me to do it. But I don't know if it's gonna happen.
I'm feeling an increase in energy that's come off you over the last minute or two when you started talking quite passionately, I think, about your hopes for this. What metaphor can you offer, like a visual description at the moment, for how you feel about this?
Something visual?
Yeah, visual would be good. A visual metaphor?
Yeah, I think it's something, it has to do with happiness. Something like glitter or cheering up, balloons, something like that.
Balloons?
Yeah.
So what color are those balloons?
Delightful colors, usually.
Delightful colors.
Delightful, yes, and glitters.
How big are
why
they?
not?
How big are these balloons?
Big enough to celebrate in the workplace.
Yeah.
Big enough to celebrate in the workplace or to celebrate in the physiotherapy center. It's big enough to celebrate.
Wow. So we're talking about celebration now.
Yeah.
Who's celebrating?
I hope everyone.
Everyone?
Yes.
Who's been blowing up these balloons? When did these balloons start being prepared for this celebration? Who's blowing these balloons up?
I did not care about the preparation part. It's like I just like want them on the spot. So when we're doing the work, we want it to be complete. Where like someone is writing, someone is doing the physiotherapy, someone is doing the teaching, and everybody is totally happy in the celebration moment.
Mm.
This is a complete vibrant picture.
Very vibrant. I think it's wonderful. So with this colorful celebration, these balloons bobbing around in the room, how would you measure your development in achieving this goal? How is this goal measurable?
I never used to be this kind of practical person. I was a pioneer doing social media back in 2008, 2009. And this is why I received prizes for my PhD study. Like, everybody would look at me, why would you do that? Like, I was the only one doing it. I was my own cheerleader, as they said. Like, measuring and being practical, I was more driven by curiosity. It sometimes fails me. Driven by curiosity. Yes, it sometimes fails me. Sometimes I do learn things that do not have an outcome. It's fine, I take the process. I try as much as possible to give directions and orientation. And this is why I'm trying to figure out what the goal of learning coaching would be. But I'm fine if it does not turn out of any help. I'm fine with that too. I've tried it before. I don't want that to happen, but I'm fine.
So what do you think is the first step to achieving this goal, this celebratory vision that you have?
The celebratory vision I have is the emotional impact. I think coaching completes the idea or the process of pursuing knowledge in the hope it's really, really helps people to be independent and not just recreate ideas that they have in their minds or just like lose their powers to other pressures around them. It might be a chance for them to get the happiness that's associated with realizing oneself. It's a big hope, but it's not abstract. It's something that we all know. You see?
Yeah.
I don't know how to measure that, and I don't know how to start. But maybe a good preparation would help. So if I just go back to my CV and see where can I connect the dots, maybe I could position myself in a meaningful way, in a way that's most relevant to people so they can see where that's going. I don't want to rely on my weaknesses to provide service.
Yeah. So I notice that you are, tell me if I'm wrong, but I noticed that you see yourself, your goal as your position in that goal is pivotal to other people's happiness, you've mentioned a few times, in their professional lives. Would that be a correct assumption? You see yourself as pivotal for this?
I think that coaching can be pivotal to their experiences of seeking knowledge.
Yeah.
I can help maybe providing this kind of service. Maybe I can, maybe I cannot. Figure that out first. And not because I'm very much emotional about it, does it mean that I'm pivotal? I don't hold myself as the most important player.
Okay.
It was never that. Maybe. It was never that. But I'd be happy to serve and bring in some value and peace.
And what would be a time scale for you to bring in this happiness and this peace for others? What would be a time scale for you?
To do what it takes means that I should have orientation, solid orientation. I should have tried myself out, done or practiced creatively around the tools.
Yeah.
So maybe in a couple of years I'll be comfortable offering the service.
So what
because
I'm
I think
hearing,
as a teacher, yes, because I think as a teacher, it's not very hard to talk to people, you know. And as a teacher,
yeah,
you know what toxic is as well. You know what toxic is. You have seen things around. Of course. So if you can identify all that and help those who are struggling, that would be good. It's a common goal, I think. 7-year-olds have that goal too. It's like, it's very common. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you've just mentioned a couple of years, 2 years maybe, to be practicing this, and I think seeing results. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how motivated are you to see this through to those 2 years down the line? Say on a scale of 1 to 10.
If I get to see,
Yeah,
semi-structure to how the 2 years will pass, if I get to have an outline, if I get to see how well I can, like the literature review writings, like if you get to see the gap, you get to hold the space, I'll be patient enough to throw in 4 years.
yeah.
But if I cannot, I have to move on and find somewhere where I can bring in value. So if I'm doing the thing and I think it does not have clear structure to me, that's not very good for my motivation. Maybe it's like the kind of person who doesn't work well with uncertainty. Of course, there is no cure for being in life. I know what's uncertainty, okay? So it's like, of course, I've been through it all and challenges and stuff like that, but I'd be happy to visualize a track.
Visualize?
A track where things would go.
I see. Okay, so in the past, when you've done a lot of hard work, you've done a lot of studying, what have you done in the past when you're faced with a similar kind of challenge as this?
I would always go for it. I never calculated that. I was young. I had a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I was young. I would just like go. Just like I don't know what's going to end up with. It's like I just go, and then sometimes surprisingly, it really pays off. Surprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah. So what approach have you had that worked in the past?
It's the shoulders of giants. I had wonderful mentors. Yeah. Yes. This is what it was. It's like I had people who believed in me even before I did. Yeah. They could see potential even before I started writing.
Really? How wonderful is that? That's wonderful.
Yes. Yes, so, I was blessed.
Do you need
and I used to think that was fine. It's like that was a common experience. I never knew by the Yes, you wanted to say something. Yes,
yeah, I know. I just wondered who may be able to help you moving forward into this, following you through this journey.
Yes, I think company will make a difference to me. I think so. If I get the right company, that would make a difference for me. I get a mentor or something. Yeah. A mentor in the coaching business. I get to see examples. Like the guy I like so much is Robin Sharma. This is the guy that's like, I don't know if that would be coaching or what. But there's like there's John Gray as well. There's a couple of names in Egypt as well.
Okay.
They come across you, Dr. Laurence, and other people as well. That would be good too. Yeah, especially that you have an academic background. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're right in that. So what kind of obstacles do you think you may have to climb over?
For me here in Egypt, coaching is like, so many people are seeing coaches, age group, social status.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Age group and social status. So it's like people who might need the service, but they can't afford it, or people who might need the service and they don't know it exists. Okay.
Okay.
And of course, monetizing my experience. You know, I work for the academia, the middle age management kind of thing. You know, it's like obedience, and we do a lot of work and a lot of teaching. And it's like we do not monetize our expertise. We're all giving to our students. Now, how can I start business? I start research every day. I don't know how to start business. Okay.
What talents do you have personally that you could draw upon?
Mm-hmm. I'm patient.
Yeah.
If that would go for talent. Persistent, mostly passionate, and I connect well with people. Yes.
Yeah.
If I can see a sense of purpose, if I can see the consequences coming, I'm usually driven by hope. The challenge that I know I have, I don't deal well with open-ended plans and when people are not really receptive. So I don't get to understand, because this is how I get to proceed through I sense my way, you know, this kind of thing. So if I don't get enough reaction from people around me, I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know if it's bad. Sometimes I don't know how to proceed. That becomes.
So what I'm hearing, Ghada, is that you wish to embark on a journey.
Yes.
To help others to gain more, and correct me if I'm wrong, to gain more self-awareness and self-confidence, self-esteem from the principles of your coaching and spreading the positive facilitation, perhaps, of coaching amongst your students and your peers and your colleagues. Would that be a fair assumption and a fair summary of your hopes for this journey?
It would be, if that's the only thing I have in mind, but it's like sometimes I'm not even that specific. So it's like, I want them to be happy, that's it. I want them to be empowered, that's it. I want the knowledge circle to be complete. So if it works through coaching, I'll be grateful. If it doesn't, it's fine.
Okay. So what's your gut reaction about your own skill sets, your own skills gaps, maybe, developmental needs?
I think that's like, I discovered something very good here with what we're talking about. I just like momentum. Maybe I need a mentor or a group, a movement. I want to be part of, and not just on my own, because it will not be orienting enough or motivating enough, because it doesn't give me the feedback. Yeah, maybe it's the feedback thing. So if I have a mentor to work with, if I have a group of people who are doing the same thing, and I just like take it up and improve upon it, like the organic way we always do. I can integrate the standards of work and the standards of productivity I already have in my field to a different industry. That would make it a smooth move and hopefully productive.
If you're going to follow this journey for a couple of years, what is for you, what's fun about it? What raises your energy?
See good results. Nothing compares to good results. Nothing compares to good results. Keeps me motivated all the way through.
What's a good result for you?
Change of scene. Change. That can be change of scene. Just change. So people are starting something differently. They're trying to think differently. They're trying to do something. Because sometimes change in itself is evidence for progress. That can be evidence for progress. So I'm not that over ambitious. It's like, I'm patient. So it's like, I don't want them to come out happy and problem solved. We figure out everything about ourselves today. We are on top of our game. That's not realistic. But if there is change in the vocabulary they're using, if there's change in the questions they're asking, if there is change in the level of stress they're experiencing on daily basis, if there's change, that would be evidence for me for progress. I would take it as progress.
What are three triggers for you to move forward?
Value.
Sorry?
Value.
Value.
If I see value. And interesting enough, appreciation. Appreciation. So if my efforts are appreciated, that's always a move on.
Yeah.
It's very motivating. If there's urgency, if there is a sense of need, a gap that I can see, when I contribute there, that's fine too.
So values, so change bringing values, appreciation, and agency.
Yes, agency.
So what's the next step?
The way we were talking here, the next step would be find a mentor. Find someone who's done half of your dreams and follow the steps in order to figure out the way.
All right. Well, that sounds like a goal to me. Does that sound like a goal to you?
It's an immediate goal, but it's like very hard for me to find what is the coach. It's like defining what is a coach. So I have, for example, the immediate example here is Dr. Clarence Samira, for example. This is an immediate goal, example. I don't know other coaches. If John Gray is a coach, he has written courses and books and relationship coach. If Robin Sharma is a coach, that would be wonderful. He has his own Robin Sharma University, giving all the methods of waking up early and wellness and everything. It's like, it's wonderful, of course. And it's really helpful.
Say that again.
So Robin Sharma, he has his online university offering the courses for waking up early. He has the book for that. He has the courses, and I think he's actually reaching out, and he's really people using his material has improved well-being. So that's also a good example. Question here is, I don't know if Robin Sharma is a coach.
Okay.
He might have a different job. That might be something different. I don't know if that's coaching. So what do you think?
Can you sum up what is the support or information you need now to move forward?
I need to identify successful coaches. By successful, I mean people who have intersecting goals with mine. So it's not the personal coach of George Bush that I'm looking for too. So it's like, I mean, I'm looking forward to someone who has contributed to people with disease or with knowledge. These kind of cultures, not politics, not business, not companies, not corporate. So maybe this is the definition by negation, if it works. Yeah.
So my gut reaction is telling me you're looking for empathetic philanthropists and people who care.
Okay, it sounds romantic to me, but maybe if that's done with a tweet of practicality and options. And options, because sometimes a lot of the philanthropy projects, they don't give the beneficiaries any options.
Yes.
That's not empowering. Agency, it's one of my values.
Okay. All right, well, this has been really interesting for me, and I hope it has for you as well. So it looks as though,
thank you.
It looks as though we have come out of this session with one specific task for you to follow up on.
Yes,
what is that?
That would be identifying the people.
Yes.
Identifying the coach, yes, and see, and maybe another immediate goal would be to see if I can get a mentor. Or people who can share the inner work of the industry with me.
Okay. So what action are you going to take today, tomorrow, before we talk again, before we meet again? Pin down your actions for us.
Just 2 actions. Yeah, the first one is I'll go and identify the names of coaches that I think I just go through the CVs, maybe their accounts. I will see if they work on the same page with the same similar, not same, not identical, but similar, something that can be a moment, a point of departure for me, something that I can relate to. That's it. That would be enough. Okay. And the second thing is to find a mentor and see how the coaching world works. So these are 2 immediate goals, I think.
Okay. And how will you go about completing these tasks? Practical.
I'm gonna ask your help. So, do you suggest names? Can you suggest names?
I can suggest things.
This is very practical. Okay.
I'm not a mentor here. I'm a coach. So
this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out to people and ask them to suggest names. That's like to start with.
Okay. So what would you like to achieve between now and our next session? Let's say our next session is on Tuesday, for example.
Okay, I have come up with 5 names.
Oh.
Find myself 5 names.
Wow. Okay.
Track them down. Yes.
Track them down.
And
I love that.
Maybe it's like this is what we do for research, it's like track them down and then try to describe the scope of interest, the scope of impact, the kind of knowledge, the kind of preparation they have, the kind of production they give. Like write a paragraph on each and see which you can relate to.
Okay.
And that would be Brené Brown, Professor Brené Brown.
Brené Brown.
That would be
okay. So Professor Brené Brown. So are you actually you are actually committing now to writing a paragraph on each of these values that you're looking for within these mentors and coaches?
Yes.
Or am I not hearing you correctly?
Yeah. I'm going to write a paragraph on each of the mentors I find or the coaches I find, and I keep an eye on my values as well.
Okay, this sounds like a really positive step forward on your journey. It looks as though you're lighting a path. I'd like you to close your eyes for a moment. Let's both close our eyes for a moment and think about this particular session today and where you are in a forest. And you're going to find your way through the forest, searching for blue sky. Can you imagine that today, with me and with us together, we're walking through the forest, looking for a way out towards the blue sky? Do you feel as if now, have you found a direction to follow between now and our next session on Tuesday?
Yes, I have.
Good. Are you happy with that path?
I'll figure it out. I still haven't tried it.
That's what I like. Determination. You have determination. This has been wonderful. You've been really expressive, and you found a path out of this forest. So hopefully you're walking into the light. Thank you so much, Dr. Ghada. Thank you so much. So
thank you, Dr. Laurence, for the coaching session.
No, I've taken notes.
Thank you, Dr. Laurence.
And I'm going to supply you back with keywords that you've given me. There are many of them that tie up together, which is very interesting. Your passion, the happiness, the peace, the fact that you've mentioned medical sciences and helping doctors. There's been a lot of wonderful interest from you in this today, and I want to thank you for that. It's very gratifying for both of us, I hope.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's like, it was an eye-opening session. I really discovered a few things, like it really helped me think. So that proves the coaching works. So thank you so much.
So thank
you, of course, Dr. Laurence.
No. May I just reflect back on a moment on your tasks? So you have committed to yourself to seek out 5 possible coaches and or mentors. And bear in mind there are different processes and outcomes for the tasks they commit themselves to. And you've committed to writing a paragraph on each. To see what they could bring to your table.
Yes.
And light the way out of this forest. Yes. So when would you like to meet me again?
So that'd be Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we ending the session here? Should I stop the recording?
Yeah, we'll leave the recording on for a second. Let's just commit to Tuesday. Do you want to meet at the same time on Tuesday?
7:30?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So 7:30 on Tuesday, which is 6:30 UK time on Tuesday. We'll meet again, and you're going to present me with these developmental areas you're moving into. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. I think that's been a wonderful outcome. I thank you so much for today. So would you like to stop the recording now?
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Laurence.
All right, then. Stop.